How your lawn looks says a lot about you, so put your lawn care maintenance into the hands of someone who really cares. They're reasonable, experienced, reliable, licensed, and insured. They are Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Commercial and residential services are available all year long. Call or text them today for a free estimate. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio, 419-708-0005. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio.
Join me every Tuesday for fun and games and play for cash. That's right. Sylvia Mid, the fun word guessing game is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E, and welcome to another hump day on Tim's Tidbits. What's happening, Larry?
I would say chilling, but it's hot.
It's hot down in Texas.
Man.
Yeah, I've seen it's like over 100 degrees down there and shit. What's up with that?
Ooh, man, hey, like I said, it's so hot that my shadow was standing in the shade. I'm like, look, if I'm gonna burn up, you burn up with me.
That's crazy. Yeah, I seen that on the news. I was like, man, I am so glad to be up out of all that. I mean, we're in the 80s and 90s, but I mean, I can't, that Texas heat is just stagnant heat.
Yeah, because it ain't like regular heat. It's like you about to go to hell heat. You know what I'm saying? It's like the hottest chip competition heat, the hottest chip challenge heat. The Texas heat don't play. I'm like, when I was in the Army, I was in the Mojave Desert. It wasn't this hot. It was in the Mojave Desert.
Mojave Desert had more landscape in some parts of Texas.
It wasn't even that hot compared to this. If people are like, yeah, ain't hot. I said, man, and I'm used to it anyway. So, my skin tone and changed. I work outside, so now I'm a little bit more Cuban.
So you look a bit like what?
More Cuban.
More Cuban.
Yeah, because my skin,
Havana.
I'm Cuban.
I'm from Havana.
Espanol, you know, you're negro no más. Cubano. Negro no más, Cubano.
So what the heck are we going to be talking about tonight? Let's look at the topics here. A bomb. Ow. Emmett Till, 1955, arrest warrant was discovered. Ooh. Now, did you catch part of that happened? Apparently, the old courthouse, some people who were doing some research on the case kind of like stumbled across this warrant.
Somebody's finna do the right thing, and they were like, you better not put that out.
So, interesting. Let's take a quick look at the video, and then let's come back and talk about this. This is interesting as it gets. See what they're going to do with this.
An unserved warrant found in the basement of a Mississippi courthouse last week has led to calls for a new arrest in the 1955 kidnapping and murder of Emmett Till. The 14-year-old from Chicago was visiting family down south when he allegedly whistled at a white female store clerk. The clerk's husband and another man were acquitted by an all-white jury, but later confessed in an interview. The newly discovered arrest warrant accuses the female store clerk of taking part in Till's abduction. Till's relatives want the woman, who is now in her 80s, prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
You locking up R. Kelly? What he did was wrong.
Absolutely.
But you can't lock this lady up, even though she's 80. What they did to the young man.
Yeah, that's interesting because she should be, apparently, from the way I get the story. So this Roy Bryant and his half brother J.W. were trolling for this young gentleman who apparently made some advances to Roy's wife, right? Made some like a cat, like a wolf whistle, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they went to trial, and I don't know how long the trial necessarily lasted, but I do know that it took 68 minutes for the 12 white jurors to come out and say not guilty.
Oh,
and that was after the Sheriff Dogan, something like that, at the time told them, you know, take your time before coming out and saying, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so we got a JB, then we got a Sheriff Dogan, and we got 68 minutes.
But now here's the catch. Also, this Carolyn, now that's the one that got wolf whistled at or grabbed or whatever the story was, never was served a warrant, never appeared in court. So she had, even though her husband and his half-brother was found not guilty on this, they can't be tried again because of, you know, double jeopardy standards, all that other crap. Even though they admitted it later, well, yeah, we did it. Too bad we got off. But she never has. So, you know, should she be? She was part of it. She was part of that hunt, you know, as they was going around, is this the guy? Is this the guy? Is this the guy type thing? And until they finally stumbled across Emmett.
And how they guarantee it was Emmett anyway?
Apparently by her ID. So, you know, she had a part in the kidnapping when they went up to that reverend's house. Apparently he was like staying with a reverend. And, you know, and then yanked him out and took off. And is this the guy? And it's apparently witnesses said, yeah, they heard him. Yeah, that's him. But she has never, you know, stood trial for her part in it. And basically because I guess she was like out of county and they couldn't find her in county. So that was the sheriff's excuse for never serving a warrant on her.
Yeah, well, she was probably going to tell the truth. And whether he did it or not, you don't kidnap anyone. It goes to show you how racism was so strong and how it still has a bloodline to now. They're still debating on whether they should hold her accountable. Yes, she should be held accountable because the heinous crime that was committed.
Right.
The murder, the kidnapping, the beating. I'm like, yes. Yeah, and they knew she was going to tell the truth, but either way it goes, that she still got away with it. Even if she gets convicted of it in her 80s, she should still serve the rest of her time in jail because someone died from that, and the other people that admitted it got away with it. She was with them. She was an accomplice when the whole thing happened.
Yeah, if you really put it into perspective, there's absolutely no accountability for his death whatsoever. But I guess if you can say some good came out of it all is the Emmett Till Act that Biden signed into law, that was last year, where it makes anything like that a act of terrorism, you know, a racist. It's a felony rather. It's an act of racism. It's a felony crime. So you're going to prison.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just bad that our America, our country, the Constitution doesn't already uphold that. Especially for Americans, whether you're Black Americans or white Americans, or
it does say that, but you know,
did it actually follow
got certain people, you know, that want to interpret it. Well, they really meant it for, you know, whites only, the Latinos and the Asians and the blacks. I don't see that in here.
Yeah, I guess
that's how they were.
If you were never property to someone, I guess it doesn't. If you were property to someone, it doesn't apply to you.
I got no clue, you know. Yeah, I don't believe, and I can't believe that, you know, some of the people, what do they call them, the framers of the Constitution?
Because the framers,
thought that, you know, that was necessarily a good idea. Or we never will.
They're gonna go back to change it like they change everything else in the Constitution. I ain't gonna talk too much on it because I don't want Facebook to.
Yeah,
I know they're watching.
Off. Yeah, they watching this.
They watching. They know. I ain't gonna go too deep into it. You know, I ain't gonna offend anybody right now.
But you're 100% right.
Now, you know, but it's a disaster and it's wrong. It's embarrassing, and then it goes to show you how this country covers up wrongdoings and mistakes accordingly to who did it and who can be held accountable. And they got to stop that.
There has to be accountability. There has to be accountability. Yeah. And,
still going on now. After all those years, 1955, 2022, still going on now.
And and that may be part. And see, now you'll sit there and say, part of the woke culture, is realizing that, yeah, you know, my ancestors or your ancestors, we have some accountability in all of that, and you know it was wrong, and we should not just cover it up like it never happened.
Yeah, Tim, the sad part about it is that is American culture. When it comes to all the masses together, that's how it works with Black Americans. That's how it works with white Americans. That's how it works with Asians, Latinos, anybody in America. It's a certain culture when it comes to the rules and regulations, especially when it comes to the judicial system. So that's our culture, and they got to change the culture. Forget change the Constitution, change the culture.
You are 100% right. And you know what? That almost kind of leads us right into our next topic, and that is a violent weekend. And just prior to the going into the July 4th holiday, right? Correct? I think it happened on the 29th of June, something like that. We had another, young man that seemed to be, taken without real cause. Let's take a look at this video and then talk about this.
Newly released body camera video shows the moments leading up to the deadly shooting of Jayland Walker.
The officers have not been able to provide a statement yet. I am reserving any sort of judgment until we hear from them.
Akron police say the 25-year-old delivery driver sped off when they tried to pull him over for a traffic violation last week. During the chase, investigators claim Walker fired from the window of his car, a claim his family disputes.
21 shots fired. That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
Video shows Walker exiting the car on foot wearing a ski mask. Authorities say officers tried to use tasers to stop him, but opened fire when he turned around to face them. Investigators say Walker was hit dozens of times.
The ME's report indicates over 60 wounds to Mr. Walker's body.
Walker never fired a shot during the foot chase, but officers say they found a gun and a loaded magazine in his car.
Jayland was a sweet young man. He never caused any trouble.
Hundreds of demonstrators have gathered in Akron this weekend to protest. Akron native and NBA icon LeBron James tweeted out, "I pray for my city today." Walker's family and city leaders are urging protesters to remain peaceful.
Is that ridiculous?
Come on, bro. For one thing, if you're going to shoot a gun at a police officer, why get out the car and leave it in the gun?
Well, yeah.
Even on television, movies, people that shoot up police officers do not get out the car and leave their gun and run without the gun. They're going to continue to shoot. That's a lie.
He left it nice and neat, didn't he? There with
that's a lie. That's a setup.
That's what I was like. He left it so nice and neat. He even had the magazine out, to prevent any accidents. Come on, man.
And then plus, why would the police officers take the magazine out when it's already in? And then it's going to incriminate them even more.
It's all evidence anyhow, so you shouldn't have touched it if you did do that. And I would have to sit there and say, none of it makes any sense. And I don't care if the kid was running. And what threat did he pose? 60 sometimes? That reminded me of combat shooting. You've been in the military when they're teaching you to shoot, ready on the right, ready on the left, ready on the fire line. Everybody's right. That's what it reminded me. I was like, damn, it sounds like a war.
It don't take 60 shots to kill anybody, man. Okay, that's overkill. It's overkill. And like I say, the culture. Got to change the culture because they're not going to do anything to those officers. We already know they're not. If nobody's been indicted by now, or we waiting for the officers to say something. Why would you say something when you know you're going to lawyer up? They got their own lawyers. You don't say anything.
But what was he being stopped for? A minor traffic violation, right?
When they tried to stop him, he sped off. So they never specified why he was being stopped. They just said when he was a traffic stop. They never said what traffic stop. What traffic stop? Then he had a ski mask on. So you mean you riding around your car with a ski mask on, and then you got a gun, but then you shoot at the cops, then get out the car and leave the gun with the clip out and not shoot at the cops while you're running. Get the hell out of here, man.
But wait, you want to know how to prevent? Let's make this even more controversial. Let's watch this video and then come back and talk about this. Oh, got the wrong one.
I hope it wasn't no porn or nothing like that.
No.
Was it?
No.
Newly released body camera video shows the moments leading up to the deadly shooting of Jayland Walker.
The officers have not.
Yeah, this one, here's the one I wanted to show. Here we go.
It's a shooter. Yeah.
Actually, 7 now. 7. The other guy died
So
today.
the guy that arrested was black?
No, white. But wait a minute. Here's the question I want to propound. Now, this is what kind of got me I was comparing to Jayland Walker, and I looked at this other clown, from the shooting, and the Highland Park chief says, yes, he was taken into custody without incident. And I'm like, this guy just got done shooting and killing 6 people for sure. Now it's been 7, wounding how many? And you can take him into custody without incident. This other young gentleman has a traffic violation and you shoot him 60 plus times. How does that make sense? I can't put it together.
Bruh, Tim, I swear, if I'm getting stopped by the police officers and I see one cop pull up, I might be kind of nervous, even if I ain't did anything wrong. But if I see 2 or 3 of them pull up, in my mind, I might say, this is it for me. I'm not afraid of anything, but I might fear some untrained, I don't know whether they're black, white, Hispanic. I might fear untrained officers with guns, especially if they're not of my ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? I'm surely going to fear them. I'll fear brother less, but
well,
no
you
incident.
You need to think that when they're approaching the vehicle, and especially when they've got their 870s, the shotguns, they're coming up with an 870 on you. Those are filled with a slug. That's just going to blow your head right off of your shoulders.
Why don't they shoot them with rubber bullets and stuff like that? I'm like, that'll still take you down. That stuff hurts too. I'm like, come on, man.
But I still need you to explain to me, how can you take this other clown into custody that just killed 6 people with no problem, but you have to kill a young man over a minor traffic violation that we still have no idea what the hell it may or may not have been. Maybe tail light, maybe he forgot to use a turn signal.
The young brother's skin complexion was his infection. And what do you do with infections? You try to destroy them, kill them. That's all it is. I'm like, he's just a brother. And I guess they feel that we are affecting, or we're affection to the community. And, you got to kill it with a virus. And
I mean, there's just so much madness going on, Larry. I mean,
the ending does not match the crime. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't match it.
That's what gets to me. I guess that's what bothers me the most. I just can't add it all up. How does that happen? And I guess and they stopped him on the way to Madison. And apparently he was, scouting some other places to go there and kill some more people.
So then now we're going to have another court case like they had with the chick with not Robert Downey Jr., but the actor. It's going to be blared across the whole news when the OJ cases again. It's going to take all these taxpayer dollars. He's going to sit in jail, get free meals. And maybe if he goes to prison, he's going to join maybe a supremacist gang and continue to build a hate towards. Man, the whole system is ridiculous.
I mean, the system seems to be going against ethnicities and women. That's what I see.
Yeah, and listen, don't get it wrong. It's not right for black men or black women to kill and not get held accountable, but they always do if they even get to court. So if they kill and get held accountable and get the highest levels of prosecution, that person that killed many lives should get the highest level of prosecution. Even then, he never should have. We have no right to kill anybody. Okay, even especially if somebody in our life, our family has been taken care of, murdered or whatever. But in that case, That guy was armed and dangerous, had already murdered people. How in the heck that they just not even? I'm like, not a really.
Not a scratch on the young guy. Not a.
How can you even? You can't even mentally work through the whole situation, seeing that and the other, and then it all boils down to one thing.
Right, an arrest. But I see this coming down to an arrest. And how can an arrest go so astray in one way and just go so smooth at another?
Yeah, even if say the young black man did have a ski mask on, he did fire a gun at the officer. He didn't have the gun with him when he was running, and they didn't have to shoot him 60 plus times.
No, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I believe, it's the use of force is, to disable, not to kill.
Now, if he was one-on-one with an officer and it was kicking the officer's ass, and the officer had to unload the clip in him to save his life, okay.
Yeah.
You might shoot him one time and then you might shoot him again, or two to three times just to make sure you survive if it's a one-on-one. But all those cops.
I know, I find it insane, but where do we start?
Culture.
With our culture, and where do we start changing our culture? With the people who are representing us and up on the TV every day, am I right?
Yeah. And the crazy part about it is every time we have those politicians, the first thing they do is pull out guns and show you that guns are power and guns mean everything. And we still got police officers using all this extra force. We still got all these shootings going on in high schools and churches. And we still got all these firearms being sold. And the politicians are the main ones that are showcasing these guns and allowing it to happen.
You know what I caught in a speech, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of lookup on that. They was talking about the rifle this guy used was like banned between a few years, like through a particular time frame because of its high-powered capacity. Mm-hmm. And somehow I'm like, well, how did that law get overturned again? So I mean, there we go. We got into that conversation over and over again about gun laws. But we have strayed back to where do we make the difference? And interestingly enough, there was a speech at the Republican convention I want to share with everybody. I think you have to see it. And let's listen to what is said and come back and talk about this.
I'm a conservative Republican, and I believe deeply in the policies of limited government, of low taxes, of a strong national defense. I believe that the family is the center of our community and of our lives. And I believe those are the right policies for our nation. But I also know that at this moment, we are confronting a domestic threat that we have never faced before. And that is a former president who is attempting to unravel the foundations of our constitutional republic. And he is aided by Republican leaders and elected officials who've made themselves willing hostages to this dangerous and irrational man. As the full picture is coming into view with the January 6th committee, it has become clear that the efforts Donald Trump oversaw and engaged in were even more chilling and more threatening than we could have imagined. It's undeniable. It's also painful for Republicans to accept. I think we all have to recognize and understand what it means to say those words and what it means that those things happened. But the reality that we face today as Republicans, as we think about the choice in front of us, we have to choose, because Republicans cannot both be loyal to Donald Trump and loyal to the Constitution.
Bam.
You know why she's saying that, don't you?
Liz?
Because when he had all those idiots to run up on the Capitol, it goes to show you all the power he had and has, and how he can control and manipulate people, even those that are part of the government that still support him and stand behind him. That guy has power, and that power can overthrow a government.
Absolutely.
You know that? Because those are the people. Those are the people that they represent our schools. They represent the blue collar, some of the white collar. They represent all kinds of collars. Those people that did that can overthrow the government.
You know what I find kind of funny is like you listen to some of the Republicans who are still pro-Trump saying that it's unfair that the January 6th committee doesn't allow cross-examination of witnesses. And it's like, well, that's not what it is. It's a fact-finding committee. And if the fact-finding brings up a crime, then it would be up to the other part of government to pick that up and make that prosecution. They are doing nothing but trying to fact find and doing this with subpoenas and say, hey, what's going on? And I think, part of it's saying, did you see the girl that was talking about that Trump wanted to go to the insurrection and he was in the limo and was all this? Did you hear that testimony?
No, I missed that part.
Yeah, she tried to say that, he wanted to go to the Capitol building along with the insurrectionists. And anyhow, fortunately, this may or may not be we got our hands on a clip. Let's take a look at the clip and see. May or may not be. I don't know. Check it out.
That was an amazing rally. Now let's go to the Capitol.
Sir, that would be dangerous. We're going to head back to the West Wing.
I'm the effing president. Take me to the Capitol now.
Nope, this car's going back to the White House.
No, I want to go to the Capitol.
Donald, you know better. We talked about this.
I want to coup with everyone else.
I said no coups today, young man. No buts.
I want to keep being the president.
Sir, get your hands off the steering wheel. That's it. No Big Mac for you.
Can I still get the Happy Meal?
May or may not be true. This some film that we came across.
Fucking Trump. The worst president in history other than Nixon.
But, I hope, and I agree with what Liz Cheney was saying, I'm not anti-Republican and I'm not Democrat, none of that. I just believe in having somebody that actually has the best interests of middle America in mind.
Both sides are the same to me. They all
because I agree with what it said, when you listen to economists. Once middle America, your grocery, your mom and pops start doing well, now they can employ everybody. They have the ability to, and that's where growth starts. You don't just give huge tax incentive breaks to, the top 1% of the Americans like they did in, the Trump era and expect results.
Everybody else to thrive, yeah. You can't cut out the middleman.
So, that's what I'm looking for. And I hope that, Republicans get their act together, get away from this gun-toting ideology, and, get their heads in the right places and realize
you know what killed me though, Tim? It kills me how all these ads with the mudslinging and how they bring guns out and these politicians and senators and whatever the hell they are. It kills me how this stuff even gets played, how it even gets recorded. Someone there should say, hey, no, man, this ain't right. This ain't cool. We shouldn't play this. We shouldn't let this air. We shouldn't let anyone see this. So that the censorship is not there. Because that's where the issues start, because they are pro-guns, so all the people that are going to put them in office are going to remain pro-guns, and guns continue to sell. We got to erase that culture, because it's not the Wild West anymore.
And I believe your standpoint's the same as mine on guns. They should be used for safety, and there should be no reason that you should be owning, really personally, a military-type weapon for what?
Yeah, and you shouldn't be on television, or unless it's a movie, but we know they're fabricated, but you shouldn't be, as a leader, you should not be using guns to get your point across. You should not be using
to get
guns
that type of an endorsement from the people. Yeah,
well,
he's pro-gun, I'm all for him. Yeah.
You shouldn't be using violence to get your point across. You should be using love, compassion, and empathy. That's what you should be using to get your point across, because that's what's going to take: love, compassion, and empathy to move this country forward, to move the people forward, to get somewhat equality. There's never going to be equal equality, especially for women.
Is that part of your candidatorial speech? Is that you working on doing like city council, local government? Is that it?
I'm staying ready just in case I get the call. I'm ready, But at the end of the day, Tim, it's not necessary. It's not necessary because that's not what we need right now. We don't need that. We don't.
We just need a change in the mindset of leadership. I don't think he necessarily has to change leadership. The mindset has to change.
Like I said, Trump never talked about guns or anything like that. He never did that. Am I right or wrong? Did he have? He never mentioned I need to.
I don't know that he ever really. I mean, he talked. He spoke at NRA conventions and things like that. I mean, I would have to probably look back and see what kind of rhetoric he may have had one way and or the other about it. I don't recall, so I can't speak on it.
Okay, but I know he grabbed some ass and grabbed some coochies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So okay, I can support that.
Yeah. Golden shower stuff like that.
Make sure they want to get grabbed.
No, that never got proved, did it?
Yeah, Facebook, my bad. Just make the person say, okay, grab it. Then you grab it. But if they don't say grab it, don't grab it. Okay, yeah.
There you go. Anywho, let's move on a little bit. Oh, man, we're doing all right. Did you hear about the last... We know that about, what was it, maybe a month ago from the torrential rains, they closed Yellowstone for like 2-3 weeks because... mudslides, all kinds of problems. Then they opened it back up for the 4th of July holiday. Well, guess what happened? Oh, yeah. Some people got gored by, trying to take bison pictures and this and that. But, I don't understand why people think they have to get next to the wildlife in the park to take some type of photo op picture, because it is called wildlife for a specific reason. They are unpredictable animals. Check this out.
Yellowstone National Park is known for its world-famous geysers and abundance of wildlife. But now it's earning a reputation for something far more sinister, a disturbing amount of dangerous encounters. Colin Scott, a recent college graduate from Portland, Oregon, suffered a gruesome death when he left a designated trail and fell into this acidic, scalding hot spring. Colin Scott's decision to leave the boardwalk was one of a string of fatal errors. He actually walked 225 yards on fragile ground like this in flip-flops before he slipped and fell into a hot spring. Incredibly, there was nothing left of him to recover. His body literally dissolved. At this colorful hot spring in Yellowstone, a young boy was airlifted with serious burns after he and his father ignored warning signs and strayed from the walkway. And these 4 tourists risked their lives by venturing into a restricted area just so they could take selfies and film themselves standing and even touching the bubbling hot spring. This is why the thermal pools are so dangerous. These hot springs around Yellowstone are potentially deadly. Using this thermometer, I'm getting a surface reading of over 140 degrees, but just under the surface, the temperatures top 200. There's another danger here. More and more tourists are getting too close to wild animals. Watch these people standing just inches away from a bison. Suddenly, the 1,000-pound beast charges the crowd and then chases a child.
Ma'am?
Here, a woman trying to take a photo of an elk gets too close and the animal charges her.
Oh. Yes, did you get that on video? Oh.
Fortunately, she was not hurt. And here, tourists get dangerously close to bear cubs and have to run to their cars for shelter. So
you ask yourself, what the hell are you thinking?
Hey, Tim, it's like top things I don't like about people.
Stupidity,
I don't like
lazy. I
don't like racist. I don't like racist people. I don't like lazy people. I don't like hypocritical people. And I don't like people that play with animals. I'm like, those are animals. It's another 5th one. I don't like people that complain about working out either.
Well, I mean, even walking in those thermal areas, I don't know if you've been or not been into.
Don't play with nature. I'm like, come on, man. It's like volcanoes and hot springs and falls. Yeah, that stuff would kill you.
That's why they sit there. Yeah, and we have the same thing here. I mean, we have some areas down in southern Ohio where you can do some, hiking, and there's some rocky areas. I mean, you're going to have, 40, 50-foot cliffs, right? Yeah, and, these people that it says stay away from the edge because, the rock is unstable. But what do people do? Go out there for the little photo ops and gone. It's like, what are you thinking? Why do you think parks put beware of bears? Don't go to the edge. Stay away from the hot water.
They did the research. They know exactly what happens. These animals in the wild. I see a lot of alligators, Man, Tim, I just think it's so pathetic.
I wonder, you think they have to do that down the Everglades? You know, like don't feed the alligators.
No, they know better.
I mean, you know.
Most of them down in Everglades are eating alligators. No, the alligators eat the sign, alligator run, he gonna eat you. But I'm like, come on, people, leave these animals swimming with sharks and all kinds of stuff. That's crazy. People are not predictable. What do you think a bison is gonna do that's territorial, or an elk? Or what? Not alligators, but anything that's territorial. Usually, any kind of land animal, they're territorial. What do you expect is going to happen?
And especially a female.
You didn't raise that bear.
Especially a female. Don't. If you see babies around, I don't care if it's little baby bisons, little baby bears, little baby coyotes. Get the hell away.
I've seen a mama cat on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, don't kick us off again. A mama cat attacked a big old John dog that's messing with little cubs. Big old dog. Mama cat just went ham on him, just paws everywhere.
That's
the female domestic cat. So
wait, you don't mess with the female species of any animal.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. I'm like, even mamas, mothers, human beings, mothers, mess with their kid if you want to. You can mess with one of these black mama kids that done work 40 hours, mess around and work 60 hours a week, and this, and had to go get the groceries and cook and clean up and do this. You go mess with that kid, and she working that hard.
What's
she will attack you.
Happen to you?
You messing my wife over my daughter, she will attack you.
That's insane.
Please.
That is insane. But no, I just thought I'd share that because people, if you're watching and you're gonna go to a place like the Smoky Mountains, for instance, there's black bear, and there's coyotes and there's wolves. And if you're gonna go into Yellowstone, even up into apparently the other accident happened up in North Dakota, Theodore Roosevelt National Park, where another person got gored. And it's the same thing. They have the wild horses. They have bison out there, and I mean, just don't get close. Use your head. Use some logic.
Hey, I don't know if it's a black thing, Tim, but we don't. It's two things black people don't do. We don't really. We'll go to a zoo, but we go somewhere to a natural thing, whatever. We don't get out the damn car. Okay, we don't go deep out in the water, and play with sharks. I'm like, I don't know if it's a black thing. If you got some black people watching the show, holler at me. But we just don't go out there.
That is kind of interesting that you bring that up because when you watch it about shark attacks on TV, it's always
you don't have no brothers and sisters.
It's always white people.
I was shocked. If you see a boat turned over, first thing I'm thinking, like, who on the boat? You shot a black dude. What the hell?
How that happened?
You shocked because it's rare. It's rare to see that because we don't get out. I was at Texas Safari here in Texas one time, and we had the bags of stuff feeding ostriches. That's when I realized I was like 14, 15. We stuck the bag out. They put the thing that was attacking. They were attacking everybody. He didn't ever. It didn't even matter.
Trying to get that feed.
That's one bald headed. Took all my hair out. They attacked everything in the car.
You lying.
They didn't get my hair though. They attacked everything. I'm like, these ostriches are off the hook. They gangster. And then one of them attacked us. Then 5 or 6 other rolled up. What's up? What we doing? What's up? What's going on over here? It was hilarious, man. It was scary and hilarious at the same time. One came and then they clicked on us. And we was in the car, bro.
You got ganged up. It was like what like a bunch of raptors around you and shit.
That's exactly. It was crazy. Now I'm older. I'm not afraid now, but I'm like, it was one of the wildest things I've seen because you're not used to nature like that, coming from like a small, I'm used to dogs and domestic animals, maybe cows or bulls or whatever. You don't even mess with a bull. But ostriches and camels, they will bite your stuff up, man.
Well, I mean,
a camel will bite
you. Any animal will bite you. I mean, horses will bite you, and
they'll bite you.
A sheep will bite you. Chickens will chase you. I mean, come on.
I got bit by a cat the other day. I was rubbing a cat when I was down in East Texas. The cat bit me. I'm like, come on, man, really?
Anybody grows up on a farm knows a little bit better. If you grew up in a rural area, you know better than to mess with animals. You grew up in the city, maybe you're just stupid. I don't know.
Just tell y'all stupid. Bison 20 times your size. And then what they'll do, they'll look at you first like, hey, you know you're in my area. They'll look at you and give you time to leave.
When they give
you don't want to run, but people say, no, it's okay. He's nice. We saw the movie. Bullwinkle, that's not Bullwinkle, people. That's a real bison.
Man. Hey, I got something. We got a little bit of time. and I wasn't going to get into this one, but then I came across it. I'm like, and it reminded me, you know, that we're going, that NASA is trying to get this satellite thing up into space so that they can have this lunar mission to where they're putting, you know, bringing people in and off of the moon, but they want this lunar station, you know, encircling the moon so that they can, you know, take people up and down, supplies up and down. You know about all this crap?
Hit me with it. It's you like me on that.
Anyhow, the exploration of the moon. That's what we need when we can. We're going to probably go up there to figure out how to pollute the place. I don't know. But in any event, now part of it is that they send this satellite up into orbit to emulate the tracking of the space station. But guess what happened?
Uh-oh.
A potential setback for NASA. A tool for future moon missions could be in trouble.
Last week, the spacecraft launched from New Zealand for the moon. Now, NASA says it's lost contact with the Capstone satellite. News 6's James Sparvero explains what's at stake.
Onward to the moon for the Capstone mission.
A successful launch last week and then Monday a successful separation. But now NASA says it's lost contact with its first spacecraft flying for the Artemis program. Ahead of the first launch of the 322-foot Space Launch System, a satellite the size of a microwave is leading the way toward NASA's return to the moon. In its update Tuesday, NASA says there are now communications issues, and those working on the mission are now trying to reestablish contact.
They had some initial contact that went very well, and then during the second contact, they lost communication. So NASA doesn't know why they lost contact.
NASA says if needed, Capstone has enough fuel to delay an upcoming maneuver on its path to the moon for several days. The satellite uses its own propulsion system and the sun's gravity, which NASA says dramatically reduces the amount of fuel it needs. After its expected arrival in November, Capstone is supposed to spend 6 months testing a lunar orbit. NASA says its future space station, called Gateway, will take too. Eventually, NASA says astronauts will dock with the Gateway before heading down to the lunar surface.
What is at stake for NASA and the Artemis program should the mission not be a success?
It's not a do or die mission, but it is important to help get the team ready for when the first elements of the Gateway launch.
NASA says it will release another update on the communications issues as soon as possible. And whenever we learn more, we'll bring you those updates as well. In Cape Canaveral, Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
Is that unbelievable?
Them aliens got that satellite. They about to
I'm like, what happened? Oh, I started getting all conspiracy. It reminded me of like Moonraker, one of those James Bond type movies, you know. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, the evil. What was the you know, the evil agency in the Bond movies? You know, Spectre.
Yeah, Spectre. I remember.
Yeah, Spectre took over the satellite. What are they gonna do with it? And we already talked about, you know, different, and who knows the capability of the satellite. Besides it, it's emulating the orbit of this Gateway space station.
How do they know they're not just blowing smoke up everybody's ass? One of they doing it intentionally because they got a hidden agenda. Because you know you're dealing with space.
Okay, now look at this. Okay, now we have a whole bunch of conspiracy theories on what the hell happened to the Artemis satellite.
Either Thanos got it or Doom or somebody. It's they messing with outer space, them aliens.
It could be just like on Transformers. Remember they were hiding on the moon?
He said, yeah, right? Come on, man.
I'm just throwing some theories out there for people.
We don't know what's out there. We know some of it, but really, do we really know what's out there? Do we really want to know what's out there? Do we want to bring what's out there back to where we got? Because I'm alive, you're alive. Okay, we might have our issues on Earth with race and all that bull crap, but it ain't nothing new. But at the end of the day, I'd rather deal with an idiotic, racist individual, because I'm smart now, than deal with an alien that doesn't give a rat's ass about no kind of humankind. If there are aliens, you know, we could be aliens to them. Well, if their technology is more advanced than ours.
We don't know now, do we?
I'm just saying, but I just can't sit here and say that we're the only human beings living being in this galaxy, in this universe.
Don't be that naive. Don't be naive that there's not, And who's to say what life is on other planets? It could be a microorganism, or it could be another human-like species. We don't know. And, you know, or, yeah, we don't know that. But, yeah, back to that, I was thinking, you know, what I find it real interesting that you do a satellite launch of that significance, and we've got all this different stuff going on. And
they lose it. Yeah. Then they lose
you know,
the
all these different, you know, China's working against us, Russia's working against us. Who's to say?
And you're going to shoot up a satellite.
And you're going to shoot up a satellite.
Spend all that money, taxpayer dollars, you worried about a satellite. You still got people that are hungry and starving, and we got wars going on. Ukraine still going on, gas prices high.
Yeah, I'd like to keep on top of that one, see how much that costs us to shoot junk up into space.
Yeah, man, I'm bald-headed and all kinds of stuff, man. What's going on? Help me find a way to grow my hair back. Let's try to do that. I know it's got to be something out there.
It probably is. They're just not going to let you have it.
But they can shoot a satellite up in space and look.
You know why that is, don't you?
How you lose a whole satellite? It's not like it's a pair of keys, Tim. How you lose a whole satellite that you spent millions of dollars on? You lose stuff that you spent chump change on. Hey, I lost my satellite.
I don't know if they necessarily lost it. They just said they lost communications.
They don't know where it is.
That must mean, well, you know, come on now.
All I know about it, if you go to the park with your kid and you say, hey, Billy or Janet, stay right here. If you come back and they're not there, you're not communicating with them anymore.
I've lost communication with my child. Which means you don't know where they're at. No, I simply have lost communication.
Yeah, hey, lose your cell phone, Siri call. You lost your cell phone, so you lost communication. You lost that cell phone, she gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble too.
That's insane. Insane. No, I had to share that one. I was just like, wow. You know, and as you say, we got so much else going on, and then
come on, man,
you're still thinking about, you know, I'm still trying to figure out, why do you need a gateway so that you can take people in and off of the moon? What's the point?
What's on the moon though? I'm like, what are we gonna do? Only good thing about the moon is there's no gravity. So if the police shooting at me, I got time to get away from the bullet.
You know, that's the kind of stuff that kind of baffles my mind, along with what we talked about, stuff that baffles my mind about how different types of arrests.
Hey, this is the bullet coming on the moon.
You're 100.
I'm gonna see it coming.
If you get shot on the moon, that's the one thing about it. Yeah,
you gotta
be like some Matrix thing.
How you get shot on the moon when there's no gravity?
I have no idea how far and how fast would the bullet travel.
Even the bullet's right here. Bam!
Yeah, when you feel like something, yeah, be like on some Bruce Lee flick. Anyhow, hey man, let's do this.
Asshole of the week.
Let's do this. Asshole. How come you always want to know? Asshole of the week. Well, you know, this has to be seen to be believed.
Instagram, and what is going on out in left field? Do we have a streaker? What is going? Oh, what? What is? Dylan just tackled a streaker?
Blew him completely up.
Security out here. Wow. I'm hearing from the public address announcer that he came out and went over to Keith Jones to get a selfie when he first ran onto the field. Onto the field.
Yeah. That's what you call getting blown up.
Was that crazy?
Yeah, that's what, when football term, you got blown up. When somebody just completely just a bow, it blew right you into like pancake, you got blew up.
I was like, that guy thought he was that shit for streaking, and then he let a pickle tackle his ass.
You got to talk about pickle.
Got tackled by a pickle.
You got to talk about a guy with a costume on, a Halloween costume. How you get
yeah, but he got leveled too. I mean, that guy had obviously played some ball. Because he
looked like he hit him, stuff exploded on, like his fat was like, fat was like, oh! He came back to his body.
Yeah, I had to show that. Asshole of the week. You know, if you think about streaking, beware the mascot.
Beware the pickle.
That's crazy. Let's get to you, Larry. Let's see what the hell. Fitness tip of the week.
Yeah. Of course, you know me. You're truly Larry Estelle of LRE Fitness. We keep you moving. Check me out on Facebook at LRE Fitness Solutions, Instagram, LRE, Estelle Junior Larry on Facebook and Instagram, Estelle Junior Larry, LRE. Check me out. My fitness tip of this week is, a lot of people say these trendy workouts are good, but I'm kind of old school with it. So these fast weight loss workouts and diets and stuff like that, try not to depend on them. Do it the old-fashioned way. Watch what you eat, count your calories, and have a steady, consistent exercise program. Make sure when you exercise, you start at your own pace. It's best to get your trainer to get you started maybe for maybe about 8 sessions with the basic stuff. And then you progress up, and when you start getting more intensity and more volume. But get your trainer, 8 sessions. It won't cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you something, but it won't cost you a lot. And get you a good, steady workout program. Now, if you want to get on your nutrition, go to a nutritionist, because personal trainers that are not nutritionists should not be telling you what to eat. They can advise you to drink water and maybe salads. They can't say, eat this particular diet to help you lose weight. So stay away from those trendy exercise programs and diets and machines, and just find you a good, solid foundation, and make sure you get someone that's going to teach you the right way and move forward slowly and surely. That's my tip of the week. LRE Fitness. My name is Larry Estelle. Facebook, Instagram, LRE, Estelle Junior Larry, and LRE Fitness. I'm out, Tim.
There we go. And you can follow me, Tim McGiffin, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Easily, you can follow me on www.thequeensilvershow.com. Get on our emailing list and keep up with everything that Queen Sylvia and myself are doing, all of our 3 of our shows, as well as the projects we're working on. And hey, what we're trying to do is keep you informed, and keep your ear to the wall, look both ways before you cross the street, because there's always something going on, and don't let them fool you with just what you hear and see on TV. Do a little bit of investigation for yourself. Try to make that difference, and if you don't want to make that difference yourself, elect somebody who will make that difference for you. That was my pastoring for the day. Oh, hey, wait, you know what? I got a little something to show the people before we take off. And it's just, I don't know that if they heard the rumors, that during the night before the insurrection, they were discussing stuff, that Rudy was all drunked up and stuff. Who knows? But anyhow, there's a nice little song that Donald put out for him.
All right. See, I told you these hearings were a bunch of BS. So what if Rudy was drunk? That's just more proof I won, since he was celebrating my landslide victory. He still gave me tremendous advice, unlike all my other advisors and family members. I'm sure they're making a lot of money from this committee, or from Soros, if you know what I mean. And Bill Barr has some nerve saying I'm detached from reality, just because he can't understand the great Chinese bamboo fiber Venezuelan meal conspiracy. And the fundraising based on a lie? I would never take advantage of my supporters, who I love that way. If you want to help me prove I would never lie to get money from the Trump faithful, just sign up now for easy recurring payments at Stop the Hearing Lies. And if you double your pledge, you'll get a commemorative Trump 1 statuette made of 24-karat gold.
24-karat gold claim is for sales purposes only.
Help me expose their lies by sending me your credit card number so I can buy another round for Rudy.
Boop-ba-dum. See, we support both sides.
He ain't get my credit card. I give him a credit card that I done maxed out. He ain't had that one. Can't put nothing on that.
Yeah, he'd be tripping out. He doesn't want my credit card either. Ain't gonna help him one damn bit.
Trump sucks.
Occasionally.
All of them suck.
Hey, anyhow, hey man, until next week, Larry and I, we are out of here.
See you later, Facebook.
Peace, man.